Hello everyone, in this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Samina Pasha to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Samina Pasha's words. Today we are discussing the meeting between Donald Trump and Field Marshal Asim Munir, during which the mention of Imran Khan came up. Sohail Wada has even written a column about this. What does this signify? We will discuss that as well. Additionally, there are reports that the tenure of the Assembly might be extended, and it seems like some decisions are being made with an authoritarian inclination. It looks like upcoming reforms will now become a mere joke, as there will be no hindrance for any legislation. We will talk about this too. Today is a holiday, but President Zardari has been very active. What has he done? We will cover that as well. Moreover, there are reports about borrowing from China, which we will share with you. We also have news regarding Maharang Baloch. So, we have a lot to discuss in this vlog. I kindly request that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Let's start with the current situation. News is coming that during the meeting between Donald Trump and Field Marshal Asim Munir, Imran Khan was mentioned. Now, this was a wish that many in PTI might have had, that perhaps Donald Trump himself would bring up Imran Khan's release or tweet about it. Many of them hoped for it, and their overseas chapter made significant efforts in this regard. Initially, many analysts thought it was possible that Trump would comment on this matter. However, while this possibility existed, we cannot ignore the fact that countries maintain their relations based on their own interests. There's no such thing as helping someone for no reason, especially not with a country like the USA, whose history shows that they always engage in dialogue based on their own interests. This time it was no different. Donald Trump's administration did not exert direct pressure on the government, nor did they demand anything. When Trump met Field Marshal Asim Munir, there was no mention of Imran Khan from Trump's side. According to Sohail Wada and a few other senior journalists, although Trump didn't mention Imran Khan, Field Marshal Asim Munir briefly brought him up while talking about the events of May 9th. But there was no positive discussion about Imran Khan, it was just a mention in passing. So this is how things went. Despite hopes from PTI supporters, it seems that these expectations were not met. In fact, many of Imran Khan's supporters were hoping that perhaps Trump would play a role in this matter, especially considering the comments made by Mushahid Hussain Syed, who had said on record that Trump would call and Imran Khan would be released. But none of that happened. As for Imran Khan, I believe he never had high expectations in this regard. He always said that what he wanted from America was just for them to remove the support they had given to the previous PDM government, and they never said that they were seeking help through America. However, official PTI statements may be different. What is clear, though, is that many of Imran Khan's supporters and workers did hope that Trump might intervene. This has now led to the conclusion that PTI's hopes from Trump and America have ended. As for the government, it now appears to be successfully improving its relations with the USA. Many people view this as a success of the current government's diplomacy or an outcome of their efforts. But I believe that while they might have made some efforts for better relations, we also need to remember that Pakistan only becomes important to Western countries, particularly the US, when there is something in it for them. This is something history has taught us. Whenever there is a need for protecting America's interests in this region, they start paying attention to Pakistan. However, when there is no such need, they don't give much importance to Pakistan. The priority has always been India, and Pakistan has not been on their radar unless they need something. Currently, it seems like the US is paying attention to Pakistan because of certain regional developments. Iran was on the brink of war with the US, and Russia and China are also watching the situation closely. Therefore, Pakistan's role in the region becomes more significant, and that's why the US is beginning to pay more attention to Pakistan. This is a fact that history shows us, but the question remains: have we really convinced America that we will support their decisions and help them in any way, especially when it comes to their interests in this region? This is still not clear. However, what's evident is that Pakistan's strategic location has always given us significant importance. Many countries, including China, have supported Pakistan in times of need, whether financially or through logistics. China, for example, has always been helpful to Pakistan, particularly because of our close ties, and because their security and stability are also linked to Pakistan's stability. Just today, I read a report that Pakistan is about to borrow additional funds from China, nearly $3.5 billion. This is part of an agreement that has been finalized. The current foreign exchange reserves of Pakistan are around $9 billion in the state bank, and commercial banks have around $5 billion in reserves. If we exclude the commercial bank's reserves, it shows that Pakistan's foreign exchange reserves are still quite low. Therefore, we cannot claim that we are financially strong at the moment. Instead, we are still facing financial difficulties, which is why we have to turn to China for more loans. China, having a good relationship with Pakistan, has always been willing to help us. And this is not just about financial interest. The stability of both countries is interlinked, and both share common interests in the region. In Pakistan, alongside this, China's interests are also linked with Pakistan's security and other matters. Therefore, these countries always rescue Pakistan, and this reveals that the government, which claims to have achieved great prosperity and accomplished so much, must explain, if the economy is so good, why are you still taking more loans? Okay, you are part of the IMF plan, but why are you borrowing from other countries if the economy has improved so much? If the economy is really doing well, we should have seen that we are beginning to repay the debts. But if we are continuously taking new loans, then where is the improvement in the economy? This should be explained to the people. It's an important matter. Furthermore, another related point is that the current regime feels that at the very least it has achieved the benefit of strengthening itself within the entire regime. Now, where did the problem lie? Whenever a military dictator came, what was their problem? The politicians were a problem. So they somehow managed to control all the politicians, giving some of them important ministerial positions, making some the Prime Minister, some received provincial offices, and others were adjusted here and there. They also pacified all the major political parties. As for the one party that was a bit stubborn, they sent its leader to jail for 2 years, and they imposed hardships on the party. Alongside, they slowly and steadily marginalized them, squeezing them out of the system and almost forced them into a corner. As a result, some people quietly compromised with the regime, while some still say, "No, we are standing firm." This is how the political landscape has been manipulated. Then, the judiciary became a problem. Some of the judges were rebellious, so initially they sidelined them by bringing in the 26th Amendment. After that, they completely subjugated the judiciary. The third issue was with the media, which was creating narratives and making noise. This too was addressed early on, even before Imran Khan's government fell. Media channels were brought into line, and over time this control increased. Those who didn't fall in line were subdued, and those who were compliant were showered with benefits. This is how the media was also controlled. More or less, this happened. The remaining issue was social media, which they still couldn't fully control. It's true that discussions continue openly on social media, and criticism is still there. However, they have somehow created laws and conditions that have somewhat curbed it. People had to remain silent because of the circumstances, so gradually social media lost its power. As for external pressure, when Pakistan became a significant entity in the region, decisions made in Pakistan began to affect the region, and this automatically gave rise to pressures. This situation led to handling various challenges, and the regime is now thinking of how to maintain this control. They are working towards prolonging this system. For example, there are reports that they are planning to bring in the 27th Amendment to crush any further opposition. This government is aware that the opposition might rise up again if elections are due, and the process would have to be controlled, which can be a big headache. So, they are trying to extend the tenure of the current parliament. Under the current constitution, the government ends after 5 years and elections are held. However, the government is trying to extend the tenure of this parliament, especially now that they have a 2/3 majority. They are considering extending the parliament's term to 10 years. With this amendment, no one can object except for street protests, which could still be a problem for them. But legally, no one will be able to stop them. In a nutshell, these plans are ongoing, but even though dictators always make long-term plans, the current scenario is different. Imran Khan is the key figure who has remained uncontrollable. His popularity hasn't faded, and he has become a game changer. Thus, whether the 10-year plan of the current regime succeeds or not remains to be seen. We'll need to wait a little longer to see what happens next. In the end, the current situation in the country reveals that the government has complete power. If they want something, they simply do it, and no one can challenge them. Even after completing the 3-month detention of Maharang Bailok, her release from jail hasn't happened yet. The law mandates a 3-month detention, but they are simply ignoring it. No one even asks why they haven't implemented the law. This is the situation with the law and constitution in the country right now. Lastly, there's a fear that the current parliament's tenure might be extended. The ruling party is thinking of staying in power longer, even though it would technically violate the constitution. But since they have a two-thirds majority, they could change the law and extend the parliament's term. People will be powerless to stop it, except for possible street movements, which could still create problems for them. The question remains, though, whether they can maintain control for a decade. We'll have to wait and see how this situation unfolds. That wraps up our translation of Samina Pasha's video. I hope this English version helped you understand her message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.